Halloween mates, here we are again, back in the barn. I start all my videos like this, don't I? Now remember a few weeks back I did a video on the emblems which I am stocking here in the UK, and I've had a few people come to me and say, are they the one from the Netherlands? Are they the ones that are made in Germany? Doesn't matter where they're made. The point is, there's one guy who makes them. There's no point in me mentioning his name, but he's obviously very popular. He makes them. I've gone to him and I've said I want to buy in 50s, 100s, and then he supplies me. Simple as that. I don't mind if you buy it direct from Netherlands or whether you buy it direct from me. Trying to keep things at the same price point. The point is we're keeping stock all the time and can get these sent out very, very quickly rather than having them made to order, if that makes any sense. But I am buying them from overseas and they're made by a guy who's got a reputation of making these very, very well. He's just putting special packages together for myself so I can bring them to you and we can connect them up to our bikes, whether we go direct to the wiring harness or whether we go through the EasyCan/CanSmart. Right, okay, so this is like part 2 of that first one. I didn't say there was going to be a part 2. It's just that I've got this bike in. This guy's having everything done to his bike. Full works, so basically the same as what I've got on my bike, more or less. Instead of having 2 sets of D2s, he's having S4s to replace his OEM fog lights. But he's got the D7s, he's got the K5 with the front DVR camera at the back and the rear 1080p camera at the front, and he's also having the Emblem discs. So I thought I'd just quickly show you right now what I've done and how we attached the emblems onto the bike itself and what I've done. This is probably the 3rd or 4th one that I've actually done myself to a bike. So come and have a look and I'll show you exactly how I did it on this one. So if you look here, with the plugs and accessories that come in the pack, I've basically left the plug just here under the fairing panel. So when we put the fairing back on again, and you'll have a little pigtail coming off the back of the emblem, we'll be able to plug that in easily. And so when we take the fairing off for servicing, we can just unplug it here and that plug is there. I've just zip tied it to some other cables that are there, so it's really easy to see, very easy to access for any service engineer when they're taking the bike apart. They're going to know there's Emblem discs on there, so they are going to know there's some kind of wiring behind the panel. As soon as they remove that panel, they will see the super seal plug right there, so they'll know exactly what to do just to unplug it so they can remove the panel with the emblem on it. But it's just like there, ready made, perfect positioning. Okay, and if I take it around to the other side, and there it is just there above the radiator cap. So it's not going anywhere. So when it's unplugged, it sits there absolutely lovely. So because I've done a lot to this bike already and I pulled the camera and the front lights, we've got a lot of wires coming from the lights, channeling through under the petrol tank. I put the tank back on now. It's coming under the petrol tank and it all comes out here. It all joins together here at one point. So remember, if you go back and look at that first video, I tell you about how you need to run the grounds together. Basically the ground from the right side and the ground from the left side, they come together, and I've joined them here in the middle, just under the tank. And same with the red wire as well. That is the positive for the running lights. They come together, join in the middle and go straight to the CanSmart. But then the blue wires, they stay separate. They don't come together at all. They come together under the same covering, but they don't join, they don't connect together at all. All they do is that they come together along here as 2 separate wires along that center piece, and then they go into a CanSmart plug of their own circuit, so we can do left and right indicators on the CanSmart. But as you can see, it's such a nice, neat, tidy job. This is how it should be done if you bring it in underneath the tank. I did some footage on my iPhone, so I'll show you exactly how it looks with the tank off. I'll put that into this video now, and just look at this, it's beautiful. Look at that. And it comes through, connects to the CanSmart, and all the wires are made to length, so there's no overcoiling because there's not much space to play with under these GSs. So now I'm going to show you exactly how I took the OEM BMW badges off. I did that yesterday, but I'll show you exactly what I did. So this is the side on the radiator. The whole idea is you remove that screw and it reveals the radiator cap on the right side of the bike. Once that was off, instead of trying to get a screwdriver or flat blade under here and prising it up, that could potentially cause damage around the edge of your emblem. So what I did is on the back, there's not normally a hole here, but I took a drill and I made sure on some drills you get like a safety thing so you can't over drill the hole, so the actual drill could only move by about a few millimeters. So I just drilled out the back of this section here. If you look on here, now I've drilled that hole out, you can see that is the back of the emblem. Also these 2 little silver points here, that's also part of the emblem. So by being really patient, all I did was just start pushing and pushing and pushing in the middle and keep pushing around all the edges, like so, and eventually it started peeling up. So as I push under here, you'll see it's starting to come up there. And that's what you get. And now all we're going to do is to clean this up and put the LED, sandwich it straight in the middle, making sure we're lining everything up with those 2 silver prongs and the 2 holes that you see each side here, and the wires will go through the middle. I might need to make that a bit bigger, but I think it's okay. And here's the other side. So this hasn't got a small piece we can take off. So same again, I drilled a little hole in the back. That is the hole where the wires are going to go through anyway. And as I start using a small screwdriver, not pressing too hard, but just easing off by pushing that little silver pin that side, the silver pin this side, and then as I push that through, there's the emblem. And I haven't gone around the edges at all, so there's no marks whatsoever on the edge, on the side of this emblem. All the pushing's done from the rear. And there we are. Okay, so this is the bag of emblems. So they come on this piece of foam. So let's take one off for now. So we're going to take this one. So in the pack you get 2 of these wipes so you can do each side. And we're going to give this a really good clean. And remember these 2 weird, tiny kind of like chopstick, big, massive cocktail sticks that come in the pack? Well, then what we're going to do is we're going to thread these through the back, like that. They then stick up in the air, like this. We're going to then peel off the back part of this first. And then we're going to start threading this through the hole in the middle. Right, so that's now through the back there. Now we've got 4 holes to choose from. 1, 2. So now they are through. Hope you can see that, yeah. We now know we can line these holes up perfectly. So I'm literally just making sure it's coming down nice and square. Well, I say it's not square, it's circle, isn't it? So I'm just going to, I need to look at this myself instead of show you on camera to make sure we're coming down nice and even. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And then we're just going to push that in place. All right, so now that's done, we can pull out the cocktail sticks. So you don't have to use the cocktail sticks, but it's just an extra safety measure, and that's nice and central on there. And now it's a case of just putting the emblem back in place. The best way of checking this, because you've got 4 holes, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you look on the back, you've only got 2 holes. So you want to make sure the 2 silver prongs on the back of this marry up with those 2 holes there. It won't make those 2 holes because that, obviously, because it's a big step involved. If I hover that over there like that, so that's now upside down. So I'm just going to turn that around. So that is exactly how we want it. I can see the prongs coming through those 2 holes at the back. They're not coming through, but I can see them in there. Now I'm absolutely certain that's how it's going to go. I'm now going to peel this layer off. And we're coming in. Obviously it's very sticky now, so we need to get this right first time. The silver pins are going through the emblem. Now I'm just going to push that securely home. And that is how you fit the emblems like that. Finally, the 3 pins on the back obviously have to go into the other side of the super seal plug. It's all a case of matching up the colours, so red, blue and brown. There's red, blue and brown going on to the other side, which is already pre-fitted. So just make sure you get this the right way round, and so red goes to red, blue goes to blue and brown goes to brown. That's pretty straightforward. Okay, so once you've got them all lined up, you just push them all in until you hear them click. It's a bit fiddly, but at least you haven't got to crimp the actual wires on yourself. So, okay, so they're all going in now. So there we go. That's now pushed nicely into there. So now I'm going to start putting the bike back together again, and you'll see this being plugged on at the very last second. So I'll show you that now. Right, so bringing the panel back in, there's the plug there on the back of the Emblem. So as I'm offering it up to the bike, hang on, I just want to put a cloth over that light so it doesn't scratch the fairing on the bike. So I'm going to make the connection now. Sorry I can't show you this on camera, but I'm just basically pushing the plugs together. Okay, so that's plugged in. Okay, so now the Emblem's going on, so we're going to plug it in. Okay, now let's test them before we put everything back together again, just to make sure they definitely work. Just want to show you exactly how I set up all the CanSmart EasyCan software. So I'm actually installed 2 Denali CanSmarts to this bike, but it's one CanSmart that's responsible for the emblems. And I just wanted to show you exactly how I've got it all set up. I've got the white circuit on light pair 2. So we have the emblems set up as a light pair. I've turned 3-wire dimming off because it's only 2 wires. It's the brown and the red, which is powering up those emblems for the white DRL. And we mustn't make sure you don't have off when turn signal. It will automatically turn off anyway. So when you indicate and it flashes amber, that respective side will turn off and you'll get the amber flash. If you have this turned on, the other side will turn off as well. So it's important that you leave this turned off. So 2-wire dimming, turn that off, basically turn everything off, because you don't want the emblems strobing when your horn's active. You don't want the emblems strobing when you do a flash to pass. You can have inverse flashing when, no, you don't even want the inverse flashing when the hazards are active, because when you hit the hazards, they are going to go off anyway. All right, so now if you look at the settings I've got here, for daytime, because obviously it's so much brighter outside anyway, you can have it on 80% or 100%. Now the only thing I would recommend you do, actually you really must do this, is if you notice on the low beam settings and the high beam settings, I've got them doing the same thing. So on the low beam during the day, I've got 80%. On the high beam during the day, also 80%. And on the night time, I've got 30% for low beam, and also for full beam on 30%. The reason we do this is so when you go and actually do full beam, when you put it to full beam as you're riding along, you don't want your emblems going brighter, because the whole idea is you flash, so your front headlights are flashing something ahead of you to alert something or something, or you just want to go to high beam because you want to put a high beam on. You don't need the emblems to get brighter. It'll look naff if you do that. It'll look like you've got a problem, like some sort of electrical problem with the emblems. So mimic them so you don't see a difference. So if you think to yourself, well, I don't want high beam, and you turn them off, well, if I adjust that high beam down to 0, well, when you actually hit high beam, they'll actually go off. So just mimic them so they are identical to the low beam, so you don't see any change when you hit high beam. So that is the settings I've got it for this customer. And if I go down to the indicators, the turn signals, you'll see I've got yellow circuits for my left turn signal, because that's what I've got it plugged into. And I've got the blue circuit turned into my right turn signal for the emblems. And I've got the actual running light intensity turned to 0, because we are using that. My customer wants to have the white DRL. So that hence why we've got it going into this light pair 2. If he didn't want the white DRL, well then we don't need to actually have 3 circuits on the CanSmart EasyCan. We can literally just go 2 circuits on the EasyCan and just run it like this, and we'd have the running light intensity at 10% or at 40%, which means when you're not indicating, they glow amber. So we're going to turn this off, which basically means the light pair 2 will do its thing and the white DRL will be on during riding, and then they'll flash at 100% brightness on amber. So there we go. So we've got that set up. Now let's fire it up and see how they look. Right, so here it is. So because it's daylight outside, these are on 80% as we left them. Now, if I take this cloth and stick it over the TFT screen where the sensor is for the sunlight, well then I think it's in nighttime mode, and because of the settings that we've already set the EasyCan up, the Can Smart up at, we know they're going to drop to about 20–30%. So if I place this over here, you'll see them go dimmer. Is that it? Yeah, there we are. So that's on daytime mode, and nighttime mode, there it is. Daytime, nighttime. Okay, just wait for the helicopter to go past. Thank you. And if I go full beam, obviously you can see the lights on the bike are reacting, but the emblems are not reacting to the full beam because we have them set at the same intensity. So if I stick the cloth over the sensor again, they go dim. So they'll be bright enough at nighttime. If I go full beam, they're not being affected at all, based on the settings that we did. So there we have it. Now if I go left indicator, there we go, we're now flashing amber. Cancel indicator, the white light comes back on again. Right indicator, the amber light comes on. Cancel that and they go off. If I hit hazards, as you can see, the hazards are coming on. Cancel the hazards and the white DRLs come back on. So there we have it, guys. And remember, if you want this with an EasyCan, go onto the website. I'll put links down below where you just basically select the emblems. You can have them with an EasyCan or without an EasyCan, completely your choice. Obviously with the EasyCan, you can configure it just like I have done here. The day I'm making this video, I literally only have 3 left on the shelf, of which we had 50 about a month ago. But I do have 50 more arriving next week. The website is very up to date now. If it's in stock, we say it's in stock. If it's not in stock, we say it's not in stock. Simple as that. So please believe if the website says it's in stock, it's definitely on the shelf here at Bike Thing. I guarantee it, and we'll get that shipped out to you same day, if not next day, depending on what time you place that order. Because you'll be pleased to know, it's now not just me. I've got someone else here working with me, helping me with all the administration, the emails, the pick and packing. She's doing a great job. She's been here just over a month, but I'll hopefully introduce you to her in the next video. Now, whilst I have you on, obviously you can see my bike just in the corner of the screen. Just want to show you a few things around that because I've added a few more things to it which you might be interested in adding to your bike. You'll see I've had a brand new filter which matches my selective yellow lenses on the Denali D2s. Now, it's not a perfect match, but when the lights are on, you'll see it looks identical because Lone Rider only do the clear and the amber, and I really wanted to have the selective yellow on my bike. It just looks amazing now with the selective yellow on the main headlight during daylight running hours, and then the selective yellow on the D2s down the bottom as well. And when it goes to nighttime, I've got my EasyCans programmed to turn the selective yellows off on the D2s, and then the white D2s come on next to it for nighttime riding. And then technically what you should do, if you've got an amber or any coloured lens on your Lone Rider headlight guard, you should really flick it down. Just flick the front grille down so you've got the clear light behind with the Perspex cover still there, which is protecting the headlight in case of any stone chips. If you like these, I've got loads of them on the shelf. If you want to change your clear or your amber to a selective yellow, then link down below and I will get that shipped out to you as soon as possible. The other thing which you'll notice that I fitted to it as well are the SW Motec header guards. I really like them. I think they look really cool. Whether I need them or not, I don't know, but don't they just look a little bit more Mad Max, a little bit more aggressive on the bike? I really like them. So I've got these here on the shelf as well. Loads in stock. I've been waiting months for them to come in, but we've got tons of them now. Get clicking, get buying, and we'll get shipping. All right, until next time, stay safe behind bars, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh yeah, and did you notice after I actually cleaned my bike, it turned out that all my powder coated bars had been completely scratched from when I had that fall at the ABR festival. Hey, never mind, eh? People saying, are you going to get it sorted? Are you going to repair it? Do you know what? No. I think those battle scars give it a lot of authenticity, and it also kind of gives you a bit of a bond with the bike. So I kind of like them. So they're actually staying.